Hey, Jack, why don't you put the fries in the bag, huh? I effing love this show.
Wait,
I think this episode will be less depressing because it's the end and they need to like tie it back to the real world.
Did you know there's apparently
depressing,
someone was saying in the comments there's a like in Call of Duty campaign there's a mission. It's literally in Chernobyl and it's like what? It's like 50,000 people used to live here now. It's a ghost town.
Yeah, I did see that. That's pretty crazy.
I want to go play it.
Dude, start using
I want to go put fries in the bag and play it.
No, I love this show. I'm so excited to see the conclusion of it. I put my friends on this show and they all already finished it before me.
Shout out to all my football fans. We're back. We're so back.
Are the Cowboys back? Yeah, I'm actually so excited to see how this all wraps up. Just because I know that what happens in this episode is what led to me being here today. Okay.
Memories of Pamyat.
Dude, literally nothing can make me sad today. Today's a glorious day.
Just wait.
What a glorious day.
I hate
What a
wonderful day.
Oh wait, was he?
Oh, that's the guy that walked up to the roof and just got
Is this
blasted.
like-
Heck? I thought he was for sure.
He's the one who had to go to
This
the
is like
This is
the
definitely the past.
Like,
ew, did you guys hear how apparently that dude whose face was like melted off, like he stood up and his skin fell down to his ankles like socks. It's another bum.
I thought we already figured out what happened with the whole graphite rods.
This little problem we have with the safety test. Naturally, they'll put me in charge once he's gone, and then I'll need someone to take my old job.
Dude, the amount of cigarette smoke in this show.
We'll keep that in mind.
Is this why they were pushing the reactor so hard?
You can control it. With your approval, we're ready to continue lowering power to...
You have to wait. I just had a call from the grid controller in Kiev. He says we can't lower power any further, not for another 10 hours.
The grid controller.
Everyone's working overtime, the factories need power, someone's pushing down from above. Not that we'll ever know who.
Gotta love quota.
No, I should think...
I'm not asking you.
It's safe. We'll maintain at 1600. I'll go home, get some sleep, come back tonight. We'll proceed then.
I think it's the test.
No, I
Is
want
that the
Cannon
hound
to,
over there?
I want Cannon to explain it. I want the
Oh
physics.
yeah. Oh, dang! He's already like, oh, this job.
I
will be
assume it's
nice.
that test that they kept a secret. You know, the little AZ50, AZ05.
AZ5.
I just think
Back
lowering the power caused the
What causes
core to be unstable.
Well, they just said in extreme conditions, doing that AZ5
So is this
increased
like? Is this almost a year later? Did you guys see the comments saying that it's like the thing that's not true is that like if someone was exposed to radiation, they can't like give it to you.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Then why do they have to kill the dog and stuff?
How do you feel?
I don't know. It's a good point.
You went to the doctor yesterday, Obviously, I resent the insinuation, but I think it's fair to say you made an excellent impression at the conference. The West is now satisfied that Chernobyl was solely the result of operator error, which it essentially was.
You get promoted or something?
Error of the Soviet Union. Our highest honor.
I decline.
Oh.
How is that even a promotion, or are they just making it work for them?
You gave us assurances. The reactors would be made safe. It's been months. No changes have been made. No changes even discussed.
First comes the state.
It's kinda
then
crazy
comes the
that-
reactors. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They just saw this massive fallout, and they're like, they still haven't fixed it.
We're back in his little cribbo.
Any chances?
Darn it. Is the guilt just consuming him?
Those
Or his hair's
falling
falling out?
out.
Right. Is he gonna be that girl doctor?
Did you take a train?
Yes, I took a train because I'm brutally stubborn, which you were hoping for.
Chokov is saying they're going to fix the reactors after the trial.
The state will never willingly fix the reactors because acknowledging the problem means admitting that they lied. They will have to be forced.
The jury's already been handed their
I'm
verdict.
not talking about them. The Central Committee have invited members of the scientific community to observe the trial. They will be sitting in the crowd listening to every word you say. A jury that only we know is there. Not just to the RBMK, but the entire industry. They can't function without us. If we...
Do you know what happened to Volkov? Do you think that these scientists, handpicked to witness a show trial, will somehow be stirred into action by me?
You told me to find out what happened. I spoke to to dozens of people. Every word they said, I wrote down. Putting out fires, tending to the wounded. They didn't hesitate, they didn't waver, they simply did what had to be done.
So have I.
It's like, what do you have to lose?
No, I'm sorry, but it is not.
I know she's not like real necessarily, but
She's like a culmination
awesome.
of people. Kind of.
Sweet way to go out.
Yeah,
I feel like they might torture him or do something way worse.
if he's already given his life, yeah.
Clearly he doesn't do it, and because like at the beginning of the show, like what he did, so clearly he doesn't. Maybe in the end he like schemes with her and is like, I'm gonna record these tapes, so I'm gonna put them right here. You come get them.
Central Committee of the Communist Party of
What the
Bolton.
Bruce?
They love Game of Thrones
Bruce
cast.
Bolton.
That justice be carried out on behalf. It was, is, and will be the
Vladimir
only
Lenin.
visible goal of the Soviet state. The path of Leninist principles shall be consistently and undeviatingly followed. This session of court is now open. Comrade Judge Milan Kadnikov presiding. The state calls witnesses.
Bruce just needs to let it go,
of the
man.
Belarusian Nuclear Institute, Comrade Legasov of the Kurchatov Institute of Atomic Energy.
I wonder if he does his chainmail on.
Now flay them.
This is awesome. I love this.
We're gonna see what it actually looked like.
But it's a lie.
Why was there need for a safety test at all? Reactor number 4 was not new when the accident occurred. Plant director Victor Brikhanov signed this document, certifying the completion of the construction of the reactor. Now, this document was a lie. In order to sign this certificate, all safety tests had to have been successfully completed. The series of pumps here and
His
here
development's crazy that he knows all this now.
cooling water through the core. The core's heat turns the water to steam. If there's no power, the pumps cannot move water through the core, and without water the core overheats, the fuel melts down, in short, a nuclear disaster. The theory was this: if the facility lost power, the turbine which had been spinning would take some time to slow down and stop. Any questions?
Dang it.
Is he okay?
He's
No.
gonna die.
Then the turbines are turned off, and as they slowly spin down, their electrical output is measured to see if it's enough to power the pumps.
That's sketch.
The science is strong.
If that's
The
actually true.
test is only as good as the man
Oh.
carrying it out.
Dang.
The 4th time they tried was April 26, 1986.
This seems like a plausible, like, actual theory. It could
Yeah,
have
I
happened.
wonder where they're gonna lie, where they're gonna not tell the truth.
Well, I think it's that. Like, I don't think that was actual. Obviously, that's not what happened. But
What do you mean that's not?
Why
what
doesn't
happened?
Why doesn't she tell the truth to the world if she's a witness?
April 25th, the day the test was meant to take place. By 2 in the afternoon, the reactor has been lowered by half from its normal output level of 3,200 megawatts. Power grid officials in Kiev say that they cannot afford a further reduction in electricity until after midnight. They are asking for a 10-hour delay. Why was this delay so dangerous? It created 2 problems. One of them is scientific in nature, the other is very human.
Forever young.
Forget it. Find another fool. Not enough. Want to buy a motorcycle?
The key boss says to come to the control room as soon as you can.
He's already here.
Came in early. Something about a test.
helped.
It held the door open.
This is a cool set.
Yeah, it is.
Another test that's supposed to run. We take it down to 700, hold it there. The rest is study through the cushion.
They were completely like unaware of how to do it.
It's going to be supervising. Give me instructions now.
Dang, they literally are learning on the spot.
I have the manual for the rundown test.
These guys all knew
He
something.
says to follow the cross-down instructions.
So then why they crossed out?
Yeah, this is crazy.
Is it too much to ask that you all know what you're doing?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Staniachuk?
Yes.
Kirschenbaum? Well, let's go.
This is so stupid.
Dyatlov is the worst.
This is so dumb.
Literally the
Just
worst.
switch the turbine off while we're in. Just
I'm gonna
stop
start calling him Ryatwov.
Fucking shut the up and do your job.
Okay, this is totally his fault.
Jeez. I love these two. I feel bad.
Dang, they all knew that this was the dumbest decision.
I want you to imagine that all he has is a list of instructions that he has never seen before, some of which have been crossed out. The operator responsible for controlling and stabilizing the reactor that night was all of 25 years old. But inside the reactor core, in the space between the atoms themselves, the time is 28 past midnight.
If they handpicked these scientists to be there, then how do they know that they're not corrupt? Well,
You know, it's such a good show when you call a guy by his name in the show, not his actor name.
I'm pleased to see some of my colleagues here from the Kurchatov Institute in Minenego. There are essentially two things that happen inside a nuclear reactor. The reactivity which generates power either goes up or it goes down. Boron control rods. They reduce reactivity like brakes on a car. Water.
I like how they put that in there.
Cool water takes heat out of the system. As it does, it turns to steam, or what we call a void. It means that the more steam present within the system, the higher the reactivity. For this, the negative temperature coefficient. When nuclear fuel gets hotter, it gets less reactive. The rise in temperature reduces it when things are normal.
is he gonna find some scientific way
As
to like,
uranium splits apart
get this to his
release
colleagues?
energy, it breaks down into a new element,
That's what I would
xenon. But because of the delay, Chernobyl reactor 4 has been held at half power for 10 hours. The xenon did not burn away. At 28 minutes past midnight, the reactor is now primed to slow down. And yet, in less than an hour, it will explode. But as it turned out, the men who didn't understand it either.
Yes.
I really like these cuts.
Kirsten, come get me when these old women are ready. Yes, Comrade Yatlov.
This guy's such a rat.
At least he left the room, thank goodness. I can't
Whoa,
believe-
whoa, whoa, stop. I didn't move any rods there.
Oh no.
Who's this? I'm not even touching it.
I'd be running. I would literally be like running.
This is when he's gonna hit AZ5.
Dude, apparently there might be a conspiracy about it.
Did everything right, I think that maybe the core was poisoned. Well, if you thought the core was poisoned, then you didn't do everything right because you're choking my reactor. Get it back up. LAC disabled, global control activated. I did what you said, I switched. Look at it!
I don't understand. I apologize for this unsatisfactory result.
Oh, it's like maybe focus on the freaking thing at hand.
Is stalling it like okay though?
What are you doing?
Can't raise the power from here. The rules.
Don't talk to me about
That guy
rules.
was right.
So no, we fell from 50% of power.
I won't do it. It isn't safe.
Let's go. Stand on it. Stand on the business.
Safety first. Yes, isn't much longer.
Wow.
Yes.
You're so cool.
With your mother's tip burning out your mouth. So if I say it's safe, it's safe. Not just here, you won't.
Why are you saying he's done this for 25 years when the reactor's only been on for 3 years? What does he mean?
I'll see to it.
I would like you to record your command.
Raise the power.
Because nobody else is helping Akimov. I feel so bad for him.
Akimov was
He
really
just threatened them. They'll never get a job ever again. They don't.
I wasn't in the room when they raised the power.
If you weren't there, then where were you?
Legasov, you are a witness, not a prosecutor. I will ask the questions here.
sucks because he has no witnesses.
Comrade Pamyat interviewed everyone who was in the control room that night. They all told the same story. But if I didn't do what he said, I would be fired. Leonid talked enough.
Yep.
Wanted them to raise the power. This is a fact.
I love Dyatlov still being a rat to the grave.
Like Mickey Mouse.
Are they in Chernobyl?
I said city of Chernobyl.
Do you know anything about this town, Chernobyl? It was mostly Jews and Poles. But after the war, people came to live there anyway. They knew the ground under their feet. Soaked in blood, but they didn't care. No one ever thinks it's going to happen to them.
It's true.
And here we are.
That's so true.
It's very true. Don't think it's gonna happen until it does.
Maybe a year. They call it they call it a long illness. It doesn't seem very long to me. Do you remember that morning when I first called you? How unconcerned I was. I don't believe much that comes out of the Kremlin, but because they put you in charge, I'm an inconsequential man with her. I hoped that one day I would matter, but I didn't. I just stood next to people who did. They heard me, but they listened to you. Of all the ministers and all the deputies, the entire congregation of obedient fools.
Yes.
Yeah, Boris.
You were the one who mattered most.
Boris went from like
good
the
dialogue, man.
number one op to just
Jeez.
the number one hero.
I love this. So this is such a good scene. It's probably the best scene in the show, actually.
True.
I agree.
You were the one who mattered.
No. Maybe.
That was my favorite.
That was some of the best dialogue.
Yeah, that was like the best dialogue, but dude, the
Scene-wise,
roof
it was
scene
nothing
was nuts.
Comrade Legasov,
Step the sheet. What's he gonna say?
He's not gonna do it.
They do not yet know it, but the die is cast. At 30 megawatts, xenon is still being created, but none of it is burning away. The only way to safely raise power from this state is to do it very, very slowly over the course of 24 hours. So they begin pulling them all the way out. There were 211 control rods in reactor 4. Akimov and Toptonov completely withdrew. As for the fuel, it's gone cold, so the negative temperature coefficient is no longer weighing down the reactivity. The only thing keeping the reactor in check is water and xenon. It's 1 in the morning. The test is minutes away.
Knowing all this now.
I know. They do such a good job of at first. You're like, what could have possibly gone wrong?
Now it's like
how does it explode? And then you're like,
wonder.
yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, they were doing so much stuff.
I'm sorry. This is all we can get. 200 megawatts. We pulled almost everything out.
That's all we have. That's all we have.
Why did he think that this was like gonna work?
I think because they'd failed so many tests, he's like, oh, it can't.
Main pump 4 connected.
We should stop.
Turn that thing off.
The problem they were facing was not solvable. The power was too low, the water was too high. The test was already ruined.
Jeez, that was a disgusting tank.
Mechanical engineer is in his office.
The door guy.
None of them have been told about the test. Dr. North sees a report from the reactor's SCADA computer.
Dude, the way they're doing this is so good.
This guy had so many chances,
Well, of
bro.
course it's saying that. It doesn't know we're running a test.
Oh,
Alright, comrades. Now the test
that's
begins.
all he could say in the hospital. He's like, I did everything right.
And they
Did
let
everything
go.
right.
The balance immediately swings in the opposite direction. In less than a second, reactivity increases. Steam increases reactivity, increases heat,
When they put the controller
increases
back in.
steam,
They literally just Uno
increases
reversed it.
reactivity.
From
So
poison,
where's the lie, guys?
Xenon,
like it gets high and then they do the thing and then it causes it.
Oh,
what did you do? In every control room of every nuclear reactor in the world, there is a button with one single purpose. Scram or instantly shut down the reaction. But
this is where the lie comes in.
What are you waiting for, Legasov? Tell your lies.
Comrade Yaklov, you will not be warned again.
Or what?
Comrade
She
Yaklov.
knows something.
Oh? How's the
I
outlaw
know
knows?
Legasov, you're a liar.
We've heard enough for today.
Your Honor.
Court is now adjourned.
Oh.
We will resume tomorrow.
Yeah, Boris.
Yes.
Scherbina.
Look at who's the important man now, telling him to let him finish.
Yeah,
Huh?
Bruce, sit down.
Let him cook. Just listen to him.
Yaklov broke every rule we have. He did these things believing there was a failsafe. AZ-5, a simple button to shut it all down, but in the circumstances he created. The fully withdrawn control rods begin moving back into the reactor. These rods are made of boron, which reduces reactivity, but not the tips. For the same reason, our reactors do not have containment buildings around them. We don't use properly enriched fuel in our cores. It's cheaper.
So he is telling the truth.
Dang.
It's cheaper.
The first part of the rods that enter the core are the graphite tips. Every last molecule of liquid water instantly converts to steam, which expands and ruptures a series of fuel rod channels. Chernobyl reactor 4 is now a nuclear bomb. 123:42. He runs toward the control room, but there's nothing he can do to stop what is coming. 123:44. Reactor 4, designed to operate at 3,200 megawatts, went beyond 33,000. It combines with hydrogen and superheated graphite.
Oh, this is so cool.
The chain of disaster is now complete.
Like just the way they did
That
it was
is so
awesome.
cool.
Cool that like after the lid is blown off, the oxygen goes in and then the fire explodes.
And then he goes into denial saying it's impossible.
And that
Yeah.
instant, that
like,
instant
it's level. It's not.
radiation just.
Start over episode 1. Get the water in the tanks.
Comrade Legasov, you're contradicting your own testimony in Vienna.
Oh!
Testimony in Vienna was a lie. Following orders
like indicted them.
From the KGB, from the Central Committee, and right now there are 16 reactors in the Soviet Union with the same fatal flaw.
Gasov, if you mean to suggest the Soviet state is somehow responsible for what happened, then I must warn you, you're treading on dangerous ground.
They're practically what define us.
Dude, this is
When
so
the
epic.
truth offends, we lie and lie until we can no longer remember it is even there, but it is still there. That is how an RBMK reactor core explodes. Lies.
Dude, do they somehow hide this testimony?
I
Is
think
that
so.
why
I
he
think
has to do the
they
tape?
probably just kill every doctor or something crazy.
Well, why would they kill him though?
He went from hero.
It's like, hey, I lied to the world, but I didn't.
That
lie
is
to my
cool
home
though, because at the
country.
beginning in episode 1, they just constantly ask like, "How does an RBMK reactor explode?" Legasov knew the consequences though. He'd do it for.
That was pretty
The
epic.
worst form of torture, I think, would be if they just forced him to live in the
Is
elephant's
that
foot.
like gas thing?
Just gas the room or something.
I think he only did it because of his conversation with
Scherbina.
Scherbina. Maybe.
Are they saying it was a Mickey Mouse trial?
Valery Alexeyevich Legasov.
They're gonna say for lying.
Son
You
of
are.
Alexei Legasov. Head of Ideological Compliance Central Committee.
You already know.
Answer the question.
Yes.
They're gonna try to like create some
Head
plot.
of the Chartered Institute. To curry favour with Kremlin officials.
He's done something.
You're just a dying man who forgot himself.
I know who I am. I know what I've done.
Scientist. And your idiot obsession with reasons. When the bullet hits your skull, what will it matter? Why? The whole world saw you in the air. It would be embarrassing to kill you now. And for what? It never happened.
Scrubbed it.
You will live, however long you have. Lesser
That would suck to
will receive credit. with
make the
each year.
sacrifice and it didn't even happen. Technically,
Your
but you get
legacy
the
is now
consequences.
their legacy. You will live long enough to see that. After all you've said and done today, it would be curious if you chose this moment to lie. You will not meet or communicate with either one of them
Has
ever
he
again.
gotten really good at lying?
You will not communicate with anyone about Chernobyl ever again. Why worry about something that isn't going to happen?
Yeah, right.
Why worry about something that isn't going to happen? They should put that on our money.
Oh yeah,
I
there's
wonder
like,
how his tapes, like, who did he give his tapes to? He just put them in the wall. I know, but, like, who got them and who publicly released them? And, like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Maybe it explains.
they don't even know they don't even know what's gonna happen to him.
I hope Pamyat tells Scherbina, like, oh, yeah, you just... Maybe he is. Maybe he already knows.
We are so focused on our search for truth, we fail to consider how few actually want us to find it. Doesn't care about our governments, our ideologies, our religions. To lie in wait for all time. What is the cost of lies?
Jeez.
Dang,
Absolute
dude.
cinema.
Exactly 2 years.
So that is true.
I wonder if he knew that, if his suicide would help, like, the circulation of his tapes. That's awesome. And so they're the culmination that makes Homyuk. Yeah, that's sick. Why did the comments spoil that for us, though? It would have been epic, too.
Scherbina was a goat in the end, bro. He's such a rat at the beginning.
Wow.
Did some accurate casting there.
Dude, for real.
10 years hard labor was all they got for literally almost ruining the whole world.
Rest in piss.
Yeah, good riddance.
Rest
Yalov.
in piss.
All these comments, huh?
Yeah, all these comments. Just let us... Oh my gosh.
All these fun facts. It just tells you in the show. the
Yeah.
Fun facts.
I'm like, oh, like, this is cool, but we would have literally found out.
So it was real? Who said that it wasn't real?
They were wrong.
That's
Yeah, they clutched.
Dude,
so
the
hard,
miners
those
were so
miners.
clutch. Oh, wow.
What?
What?
The ones
still
in the
alive
water?
today. Dude, they
How's
they
that
should die
possible?
after a week.
Yeah, dude, he became the leader of the USSR after. How crazy is that?
100 years?
It's pretty good ROI.
Does that mean they have to go replace it?
wasn't 4,000. There's no way. No way. Dude, what? Let HBO cook.
That was crazy.
Goodness. Craig!
Gosh, Craig.
Well, I'm glad that.
Dude, I want to watch
I'm
them
glad
again
Valery Legasov told the truth.
Dude, what a goat, man.
Gave his life for the truth.
What an absolute goat. Shout out to all the heroes, man. Dude, for real.
That's a crazy story.
I freaking love
I'm
that,
glad
dude.
they brought
That
it
was
to light.
awesome.
I would have never ever learned about that in a million years.
Me neither. Why can't they make more
I like the
shows like this
specifics
about
of it,
like
yeah.
some historic,
Well, maybe
crazy
I'm sure
event?
there might be.
Well, but like, okay, this is like by far the best. So, like, I had heard of Chernobyl just as a show. You know what I mean?
Freaking
More.
Schindler's List.
I think I'd heard more of
Yeah.
Chernobyl. You want to watch Schindler's List now? Huh? You want to rewatch Schindler's List now? Huh? Yeah.
You want to see something?
I think
real
I
and
had literally.
accurate? Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I think I'd heard more about Chernobyl the show than about Chernobyl the nuclear meltdown. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but then again,
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Dude,
No, but
we
that's
need
what
to
I'm
watch
saying.
Schindler's List, man.
That's a
That's another one.
That's a heartbreak, man.
Apparently, Band of Brothers is really good too. I don't know what it's about, but I think it's actually rated higher than this.
That last
Is it a TV
episode
show?
was so good.
Yeah, that was a
dude.
very-
the
very-
recap episode went crazy.
That
That
episode was
Very good, very accurate depiction of what happened, and it helped us all understand better why it happened, how it happened.
Dude, seriously, I love
why
how
it
they were
should
like,
never happen again.
how could it explode? It can't. To that, dude. It's
See,
like, I
was
feel
like
like I could
Plus,
explain
it was
how
like
it
horrifying.
exploded
It
right
was
now.
horrifying, so.
This is one of those moments, dude, where like media can tell a story better than like history books or anything ever can. Like creating it like to this degree
Yeah.
and making it something visual, something that you can experience in a form like this.
This would be
But that's
it's
the thing,
so
dude.
valuable.
Great
That's the
for
thing is, like,
classrooms.
Well, no, that's the thing is like in like my AP classes, like AP World Civ and AP Human Geography, we would watch media all the time, but it was so boring. Like they do such a good job of like
Maybe you're
accurately
just growing up
depicting
now,
this.
though.
Maybe, but like this was so entertaining. That's the thing. It's like it had me gripped from start to finish. You know.
it was grippy for sure.
No, yeah, this show, bro. This show is second to very none.
It's true.
Unreal. I mean, I know it's only 5 episodes. It's very short, but I mean, hey, that's one of the things
all they
about a
need to tell
show,
the story.
knowing when to end. You know?
Dude, that was
No,
so
for sure.
good.
Like we got all we needed in terms of information and how things happened. It didn't need to be any longer.
Yeah, like you can tell they were not making this show to try and make money, like
This was too.
advertise.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
no, this is purely for like
Pure cinema.
for the heroes. You know, 31
Yeah, it was in dedication, and it was to educate.
Dude, no wonder Putin.
What a sad story though that just all that could have been avoided if it wasn't just for
That's that what you say.
lying.
for being cheap and for lying to like cover
The
secrets.
cost
and
of
stuff.
lies.
It's crazy.
So I wonder if like, would they actually need to? Like, I understand making it safer in general, but if they always followed protocol, it would work, right? Like it's safe.
Yes, but it's like you just. I mean, if you can fix it, you might as well.
No,
Like,
100%,
just
1000%. I'm just saying if they always
Like
followed protocol,
even with like that thing being a possibility, if they wouldn't have had like the stupid keep
The
it
10-hour
something
delay.
for 10
I
hours
don't
so that
know.
for the metrics and keep it at
Had anyone ever used AZ5 before?
I don't know.
I think they had because they had failed
Probably.
multiple tests before. I just don't
No,
think
no,
I
I
don't
don't-
think that they had pushed it to the limit because of like the
Yeah,
the quarterly
Outlaw
reports
was so
and like all
arrogant.
this crap.
The Outlaw was so arrogant and
Shut
just
up.
wanted to
I
get
don't
it
think the
done
tests are
because he
supposed to be
assumed.
sketch.
No, but
And-
like.
And in
It
his
seems
defense,
sketch.
even though he was a rat, in his defense, there
Well, it
was.
is because you're testing.
Hold on,
out.
Jack. Let Brig talk, and then we've been doing this recently. Me and you talk, and then they talk. So just
Also,
let Brig
that's
talk, and then we'll talk.
Just go ahead. I forgot, dude, what I was saying. I'm not even kidding. I'm not like.
We were talking about the safety test in
The
Diallo.
safety test is sketch because you are shutting it down to see if the freaking turbine can even spin long enough
Yeah.
to have the reactor to have
That's
the
like
gas
sketch.
powered things to turn on.
But to go from the test is supposed to be at 700 megawatts, it was at 30.
Yeah.
Like, I just think
But they
that
got
like
back up to 200.
yeah, and then it was at 200, which is still way too low. I just think that like I feel like if they always followed protocol, it would be fine.
Well, and I do think though part of the reason why Dyatlov
That's what I
was
was
like
saying.
pushing
But
it
in
to the
general,
limit is because
so
like in the
cheaper.
beginning of that episode, they were showing the conversation with him and that other guy being like, "Oh, I'm gonna get promotion," and Dyatlov was like, "I'd like to recommend myself for like your spot," right? And like that's why like they're talking with that guy about the quarterly reports. So Dyatlov wants to finish this test so that he can look like, oh yeah, let's promote Dyatlov to me when I get promoted.
Right.
You know,
It was also just so sus that Fomin was like,
Fomin, that's his name.
Fomin was like, we have to shut it down, right? And he was like pissed about having to shut it down, but he still asked, like, because of the 10-hour delay, and that's when Dyatlov was like, no, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like he was like, no, like,
And the
we can do it.
one defense that Dyatlov has is that he didn't know it was possible.
Yeah.
That under extreme conditions, AZ5.
Yeah, like,
he thought
he
it would just
thought
shut
that no
down.
matter what, even if
You
he
could press the button.
even if he just was, a dickhead and did all this stupid stuff, once things got out of control, he presses AZ5 and it just
He thought he was just
going
gonna
to
lose his job.
So he kind of felt like in his mind, maybe I'd hope that he wouldn't have been as arrogant and reckless if he knew that there was a possibility that the entire reactor would explode.
it's
Like he was just like, I can do whatever the F I want because at the end of the day, when things get out of control, I just shut it down and we're fine.
It's like crazy.
I mean,
though. That's like
whole-
relying on the e-brake going 1,000 miles an hour. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm gonna pull the e-brake. It's like, dude, this is a nuclear reactor. Like you shouldn't rely on like
No.
the
like the
last
safety
thing,
button, you
dude.
know,
like that's so.
I mean,
but
that's
I
what
agree
that's
though.
what
As
it's
much
for,
as
though.
as much of a rat as Dyatlov
what
was,
it's for.
to his knowledge,
It was
that button,
scientifically impossible
that
for
button,
the reactor to
yeah,
explode.
nobody could even what
Nobody
how
could know.
you know.
Like, it was
So-
literally impossible for a reactor to do
But-
what it did.
It was the culmination of all of these things: the lies from the government, Dyatlov being a rat and pushing it to that way.
was
That
the
other guy
magazine
like
thing.
trying to talk about quarterly numbers. It was a combination of all these things
Yeah.
that made
Dude,
the situation
the
right for it
craziest
to
thing-
explode.
The craziest thing is that the freaking Soviet Union tore out those 2 pages of the
that
freaking book
magazine thing. or
just
whatever.
because they didn't want to be seen as cheap. That's
Yeah.
crazy, and that's like what started the whole freaking thing.
Investigation.
Yeah.
It's like,
It
bro,
is
just
crazy.
It's cheaper.
It
Well,
is
and that's
crazy.
the
It's
problem
crazy
is
that
that all
like
the reactors are cheap, so they can. This could potentially happen in all of them.
it's crazy that Gorbachev, whatever his name is, said that was ultimately what he thinks was the
Soviets'
downfall of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Something that was just
Well, it makes sense because like the Soviet Union was literally built on, they said, the perception of power, and when, I guess all that stuff happened, kind of breaks that weird little illusion. So, yeah.
why am I like scared of making these criticisms? Even I'm scared. I'm like, dude, the KGB is gonna come after me.
Oh man.
This whole show was showing it.
Wasn't it? I think I read a comment. This show wasn't allowed to be watched or something.
No, yeah,
in Russia
Putin
or
immediately
something.
banned it.
really.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like,
So, all right, still continuing on the
People
cycle,
still watch
of just
People could
Lies.
easily still watch it.
of just
Hiding.
1, 2, 3 movies.
I mean, it's like how they never changed the death, like
Yeah.
the total death count. Like they're just, I don't
how
know.
many
I
people
wanna-
died in
I wanna
Chernobyl?
watch the
31.
beginning again.
What is the
Like
cost
he
of
says.
lives?
Unless you
I love
I
when
would
shows
gladly
do
watch
that.
the beginning.
I
Yeah,
love when
I'm
shows
so
do that.
curious what he said.
I love when shows
Bill for guys like-
shot like they start at the end.
Yeah, that is so cool. It just is such a roundabout, like perfect loop, like a perfect circle.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know?
like it's perfect for a show like this where you kind of already know that they're done. Like you don't need to like.
wonder
like,
about anything.
Yeah, like you're like, oh, he's dead, and it's like, oh, in the end, of course, yeah, he's dead. But if it starts off like that, it also sets the
What
tone.
was the call?
That is officially an S tier show.
Oh, why is Vasily the one?
Not war.
That was top, very much of the top of the top.
Wow.
I'll never
Yeah.
forget that piece of graphite that guy just.
Dude, that was shocking. I can't believe that bridge of death. That's so cool that they added those facts. Those facts in the comments spoiled a couple of them.
True.
Rats. All of them.
This is for you.
I love the comments that like tell me things that aren't in the show. Like, oh, there's still hundreds of dogs running around. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That was awesome. I would give that show, I'm not even kidding, like overall I'd give that show like probably like a freaking
Frickin', I'm giving
9,
it a 10, bro.
Yeah,
10
I was
out of
gonna
10.
say 9, but
I'd give it a 10.
I personally don't know what's wrong with it.
no,
Yeah.
name a part that like was boring. Like the only part that I didn't like was them killing the dogs. Like I was like, oh, this is like,
But it just
and it went on
showed-
a little long because I was like, but it's just because I hate animal cruelty. You know what I mean? I don't want to watch people
even
shoot
though
dogs.
you hate dogs.
Yeah. It's either a 9, or a 10 to me.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, fine. 9,
I think
9 because nothing's perfect.
Yeah, 9.
I think
But-
it all has its reasons, though. It all has its meaning. You just have to see it.
9-8.
9,
Don't
9,
ask me where the
10.
point 1 is. I don't know.
The point 2
Well,
that
nothing's
point 2.
perfect. So the point 1.
is it the dogs.
No, that part.
I don't
like,
know. I
Is that
mean,
objectively,
that
is
part
that-
had meaning.
for
though.
a, what would this show be considered a?
biography. No,
Not a biography. That's for
Biographical drama.
It's
That's
a
what it says,
historical
biographical
fiction
drama.
kind of.
So
Mystery and suspense.
No,
like
not historical.
for me, and that could be and this is definitely for me, not for other people. Some people probably, maybe this is their favorite thing, like historical,
Oh yeah,
true
yeah.
story. I like fiction the most, So, as an overall rating, I just give it a 9.8, just because maybe the point 1 is just that like, it is. So I knew the end. I knew what happened. Like how the end was gonna happen to some extent, because obviously, like, if
This
it
happened.
did explode or
Yeah.
something, like I would know about it if Eastern Europe was just completely eradicated. So that takes away that factor. But I know that's not the point of the show, and I'm not dissing it for that. So for a biographical drama, I'd give it like a 10. Like I don't think they could have done any better. But I'm saying like as an overall, like every show I've ever watched.
You're saying it's not your favorite thing to watch, but it was still unreal.
Yeah, like it was a masterpiece, but I would just give it a 9.8 because
Dude, that's what I love about the show though, is like you could literally like not even like watching shows like this, but they do it so well that like
No,
you'll
for
like
su-
it.
for
Any
sure.
like I think anybody would like
for
the
sure.
show.
I agree, 100%.
I actually definitely disagree with
Well,
that,
not like,
but I do get what
more
you're
people
saying.
that like wouldn't necessarily always watch this like category of show.
Like,
No,
to
for
a,
sure.
to a
enjoy it.
biographical drama hater.
Yeah.
And universe is on the
It's
line,
true.
and I had to like convince them.
It's
I
true.
would recommend Chernobyl to try to like sway them.
Chernobyl. No, I think another thing that this show does so well is the ending, dude. Like that last episode is probably my favorite episode.
Saw
Yeah.
last
That
episode.
one was
so
that
good.
episode
It
was
was
so
really
good.
It
I
just
love-
talk about tying it back.
Like a
I
play by
love how the
play.
court case they were explaining it, and then we get a flashback, so we would see it instead of just like also telling them.
True.
Like
Dude,
we
it
got
was so
such a
good.
Show,
cooler,
don't tell.
we got such a cooler POV than the people in that court case. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah.
Because they're just
Oh, I
hearing,
mean, yeah.
they're just hearing the timeline, timestamps. We're actually like seeing it as if it
That
really
like
happened.
because most shows fall off at the ending slightly, and that was just like
This one peaked.
oh,
This one
so
Code
good.
Geass.
I just love how they tied it to the beginning, and like it's like a perfect loop.
Yeah. The coolest thing for me was like, I kid you not, I remember the first episode when he was just yapping on that thing. I was so zoned out because it made zero sense when he's like,
Oh yeah.
What is the cost
What's
of
the cost of lies and Dyatlov? And I was
Just
like, what
huh?
the f?
Yeah, it's
Like I knew that had importance, but I was like, there's no point in me trying to like decipher what he's saying because it sounded like gibberish to me what he's saying. I was not comprehending anything, and then we just rewatched it, and it was like it
Crystal
made
clear.
so much sense. Like it was all crystal clear what he was saying. So it was cool to see how like they educated me on everything. And towards the end, like right there, it made 100% like sense.
Dude, this show is just a giant chiasmus.
Chiasmus.
Yes, it literally starts with this like dialogue, this monologue, shows everything, and then reverts with the same monologue to the end. You know?
I just unreal.
that cooked so hard.
What would you give it, Mac?
The 9-9.
Yep.
That was so.
Nothing's perfect. There's 100 billion% something in there, even no matter how minute. But I don't know what it is.
Oh, you know what? The nurses that were just letting the girl hug Vasily. Yeah.
Well, then apparently,
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I feel like radiation could be spread
No,
from one
you,
person
Jack.
to another. Because what was the whole point of tilling up all the ground and burning everything down?
I don't know. I'll have to go read that.
Oh no,
comment again.
that is
Obviously
different.
poison thing.
That's like
I feel like
that's
that
to
comment-
stop
I feel
the
like that
spread.
comment-
That's
No,
to
I know,
stop
but
the spread.
If a
because
person is radiated,
well, no, because it's the difference of like ingesting something versus just touching it. It's like
Oh, I
if there are
Well,
particles in the
well,
air
what
that
about
I
the
am
graphite?
inhaling.
Like the graphite
no, I
that
get
touched
that,
it.
but
I
if
know it's like
someone's
times a
so
billion
irradiated,
the toxicity, but still he touched it. Isn't it?
No, yeah, to what I understand, a human body absorbs the radiation.
Yeah.
Whereas
The
the
cells, they
graphite,
said the
the
cells
radiation
absorb
is
it.
just on it, doesn't absorb it. So like if you touch a human
Let's
body,
look it up.
it gives
it's
off,
like it's
it gives off
absorbed.
radiation.
You know? Yeah, it's absorbed.
Was a lie.
The whole hospital thing made
What
no
thing?
sense. then.
Because
Like
obviously, no, the wife.
Because they're
dying.
worried that
Not
was
not
gonna
the
spread it.
because
to
remember
all
how they said it was a
child.
lie. She lives with her son.
I
in
think
Kiev.
that
Well, it made sense that because she was in the area
So it wasn't
and she
true.
was inhaling the radiation, the baby absorbed all.
well, and
of it.
also
No,
it's
I get
like
that.
yes, from
But, like,
our
the
perspective,
husband touching
from
her.
our perspective, yeah, that's wrong. But in that moment, those nurses don't know jack.
No, I know.
You know, so they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh, don't go in here." They don't know
this
anything.
is pointing out in the end is that that's not true necessarily. Like she was alive. She
The
was
baby
not
absorbed
not
all of the
necessarily
radiation.
okay.
No,
But,
I
like,
think
she
no,
does
I
have a
think the
son.
thing that they said was a lie.
She
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
kids anymore,
Yeah,
so-
is that she couldn't have kids anymore, and then she had a kid.
So I guess she did have multiple strokes. Or-
But anyways, what a good
9.8
freaking
is
show.
Yeah, that show was awesome.
Either way,
9.8.
I guess that went to show the personal side of things with her and her husband. How like
Well, yeah, and I personally
Personal
think it's
life,
like,
yeah.
dude, you go into that world, nobody knows jack about what's going on. So it's like they say whatever.
can't
It's
be
like,
prepared
It's
for
so
that.
weird.
What if I was like 9.8
When you
because
say
the
that
comments
world,
spoiled?
but it's just like it's just
oh, it's our world.
It's just like it's weird.
In that
it's weird thinking that way.
time.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just
We go from one peak
it was
to
literally just
another.